Turus, finally karibu sana. This is the unpacking series by Mudhoni. Today we have a new episode for you, truly inspired by our livelihood back in Ushago. So today we are going to boil beans within 45 minutes. Can you imagine? And they'll be ready for you to make a stew with them, or for you to eat as they are. So I don't know how many of you remember back when we were growing up, for those of us who grew up cooking with firewood back in our rural homes, that it would take us about 4 to 6 hours to boil beans. I don't know what was the problem, but that fire was kept on for 4 hours. You kept adding firewood and water. Those are the instructions. Add water and add firewood until the beans are ready. But thank God to technology now that we can make beans within 45 minutes. Wonder how? Let's continue. It all starts here. Remember this? And your beans. And you start by sorting them out. You remember that? Yes. So you take your beans. If you have uteo, someone tell me what you call uteo in English, or you can call it getaroro. If you have it, you can put your beans here and start sorting. You can also use a tray if you do not have this. So it all starts here. We sort our beans one by one, until they're all clean. Let's continue. The second step is cleaning your beans and cleaning them thoroughly, just to make sure that you rinse off any dirt. Okay. And at this point I've done 2 washes, and this is the 3rd wash for my beans. And so I'll go straight ahead to our surprise gadget, and that is the electric pressure cooker. So after cleaning our beans thoroughly, we shall go straight into putting them in the electric pressure cooker, which is our surprise gadget for today. So my pressure cooker has come with this inner sufuria, and this is what you're going to use to put into the pressure cooker. So it comes with 3 components, maybe more than 3, because some have some spoons that you can use to scoop your beans, or to scoop whatever you've cooked with it. And it also comes with different functionality, but at this point I'm going to use the functionality that shall work for us for the beans. So allow me to show you our surprise gadget, the electric pressure cooker. This is what you use to put into the pressure cooker. So let's continue step by step. So I'll place my beans in the inner sufuria, and below it, for me, I'll put a tablecloth below it. Don't mind the tablecloth. So I'll put my beans in the sufuria. Now my beans are already in the sufuria. So the next step is, of course, to pour water into our beans. This goes my water. On this specific pressure cooker, there is an indication on the maximum water that you can put. Mine goes for 2 liters, and so there is a mark in my sufuria for the water to come up to this point. I like to follow instructions just to ensure that there is no spillover of extra water once I put it in my pressure cooker. So I like to follow instruction, but again, the quantity of water can also be dependent on the quantity of the beans that you're boiling or any other thing you're cooking. So for me, I'll put the maximum because my beans were also quite a lot. So now we are in the third step, and this is very important when it comes to you cooking with the electric pressure cooker. So for me, you realize I've placed a tablecloth below my sufuria. For the reason for this is just for it to soak any water that might be spilling over on the sufuria. The reason I say it's important because you need to make sure that the inside sufuria is completely dry. It's completely dry by the time you're pressing it in the pressure cooker. Of course, we all want to maintain our gadgets for long. So ensure that the inner sufuria has no traces of water, has no water completely before you place it into the pressure cooker. Reason for that, of course, you might electricians can tell us, do we call it, you can cause a short circuit in the sufuria and it gets spoiled. The engineers down there can tell us what it means when there's water coming into contact with electricity. Okay, so yes, and alas, we close our sufuria. And our beans are ready. So the next step is to connect power to the pressure cooker. This is our cable for the pressure cooker. We're just gonna plug it in. And I've placed it in the socket and it's ready. So the other thing is that there is a pressure knob on your lid. So ensure that you close it just to ensure that you lock up all the pressure. Mine has an indication on when it is open and when it is closed. So I'm just going to tilt it and place it onto the closed part just to make sure that the pressure is locked in. Okay, so we switch on the socket, and now we are ready to cook our beans. Okay, so for my case, or rather for my pressure cooker, once you put it on, it will give you the indication that it has detected power. So next step is to set it. So you go to the menu button and you can go down to select the option. Mine for beans stroke chili. Mine is beans and chili. Or you can set it manually. Okay, let's try the first option and see how many minutes it's going to give us for the beans option. So you come down with the button up until you are at the chili option. So my option for the bean and chili gives me 36 minutes. However, I have cooked with this pressure cooker before, and the type of bean I've realized that it's getting ready with 45 minutes. So what I'll do, allow me to go ahead and set the manual way, just to ensure that I am at 45 minutes. So we'll continue with the menu button, and I'll make sure that we're back to the point for the pressure cooker, and automatically it gives me 43 minutes as a pressure cooker. Under the pressure cooker setting, it gives me automatically 43 minutes. So I can add, if I want, I can add and make them 45, you know, or better yet, leave it at 43. So allow me to leave it at 45. Let's cook with 45 minutes, and I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, so after that, you just press the start button, and alas, your beans have started to cook. So you realize the timer has disappeared at this point. It's just showing you that the pressure cooker is on. So it will be like this up until the pressure cooker gets to 100 degrees. Okay, once it gets the boiling point at 100 degrees, then the timer will start to recount again, and I'll show you through the whole process. So at this point, allow us to give our pressure cooker time to heat the water and to heat the beans up until they are at a boiling point of 100 degrees, and then I'll come and show you once the timer is out again. Progressing on well. We are at 28 minutes from 45 minutes. So give or take, in 28 minutes we should, have our beans ready. You also notice that there's no sound coming out, yani hakuna makelele. So this is a very effective gadget. You can consider to have it. You can also touch on the outside. It's not very hot, it's just warm, meaning it is also safe for you to use in your kitchen, or even when it comes to the safety of our little ones. So it's gone down to 27 minutes, and alas, we shall be at 1.
A few moments later.
Tereng, the moment of truth is here. So finally, let's see how our beans turned out. Just, of course, by now the pressure is very minimal, so I can easily open my electric cooker. Note that actually when the pressure is high, turning this knob, turning the lid, it becomes very difficult. So you need to confirm that indeed there is no pressure in your pressure cooker. So finally, this sufuria sometimes might be hot, so you need to be careful, and it is actually hot, I feel. The water still remained, it did not clear, which is a very good thing, because now it is, I'm sure that all the beans were covered and they must have cooked evenly. Wow. Let me just show you. So these how our beans turned out. Let me place them in a plate so that we may all look at it. They turned out very well done. I hope you can be able to see. If not, let me show you how my shushu showed me how to test if beans are very well cooked or they are cooked already. You just press in between your finger and it will tell you how cooked the beans are. So mine are very well done. In fact, I feel we probably would have set it at 43 minutes, but it is fine. It is well cooked. So that's how you do beans in 45 minutes. Imagine you can leave work, you can leave your errands and come back home, and within 45 minutes to max 1 hour, because of the preparation bit, you have your beans ready. So they have turned out very well done. So thank you for watching. Leave me to enjoy my meal. See you on to the next one. Bye bye.